Hello and welcome to hopefully my last unemployment rant. I'm really getting tired of doing these because, it's a depressing thing, but I felt I just had to do one more unemployment rant to address many of the common comments that I was getting regarding, things to try and things that I've done, haven't done, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to go down. I kind of made a little list here on my steering wheel. The number one thing that people tell me to do is to move. Moving costs money, okay? Money. Lots of it. You need money for gas if you're driving or if you're taking public transit. That there's moving expenses, and if you have important things with you, they'll charge extra for baggage or whatever you're doing. And then once you get to where you're going to go, okay, so where are you going to live? You've got to be able to have money for, you can get a roof over your head, get established, get a bed, get some furniture, that kind of stuff. Or you could stay in a motel. Either way, it costs money, okay? So this advice that everyone keeps telling me, move, no, it's not a matter of just moving, it's not that simple. When you're unemployed, as long as I've been, you don't have money. I would kill the rest of my savings if I moved within like a day or two, probably. Another thing people tell me to do is start your own business. Already done that. I told you in my last video, I know how to build and repair computers. I'm not wasting that talent. Obviously, I'm doing everything I can to make money. Some people don't seem to get that. I don't know, so I'm fixing computers. And by the way, the economy is very dry right now, so that means nobody really has money. And I've actually had at least a couple customers tell me that they're on welfare or SSI income or something like that. And I'm already like giving them a huge discount compared to like the Geek Squad or something, or even like a little local computer shop. And people still can't afford, like 40, 50 bucks to like speed up their computer or something, clean it up. And so I end up having to take like 20, 30 bucks sometimes for a job. So, and I'm only getting a few customers a month. So it's not like I'm making a whole lot of money. And it's really hard to save when you're barely making shit. Okay? Some of the conservatives, they love to give me real funny advice. I just can't believe it. I gotta sit there and laugh at the comments sometimes. They say, oh, change your attitude. They like to tell me, like, basically I'm going about it wrong or something, or I must not really want to work. There's always work for those who are willing. I'm like, so I'm not willing? What? Like, you guys think I don't want to change my situation? Give me a break. Shave. Yeah, that one doesn't really hold water either, because I started about my first year and a half of my job hunt clean shaven before I grew my little goatee. And by the way, also, when I'm sitting there behind a computer typing in my application and sending it off electronically, like, is the manager going to be like reading my application and be like, oh, you know what, this guy sounds like he has facial hair, I don't like him. Another thing, go to school. Okay, I have friends and I've sat in front of the computer and read tons of stories and heard from people I personally know who have went to school. They got degrees, and they're in my position. I'm serious. I'm talking about even people with master's degrees having to move back in with their parents when they're in their like 30s or 40s. Seriously, it's really that bad. There are, believe it or not, some people who still do not understand. And I mean, like, they seriously insist. They refuse to look at facts. Okay, they insist that there are plenty of jobs out there.
Not currently fully staffed.
We're not. You can fill out an application, and we'll definitely hold on to it if you want to.
There's no openings though.
No, we're not at the moment. Sorry though.
Nothing at all, nowhere?
Nope, nothing.
Not yet because it's too slow, but probably in summertime.
We're not hiring right now. You can always get an application and we just keep it on file.
We're not currently hiring, but you're more than welcome to put an application online.
So, it seems like there's just no jobs anywhere, are there? Okay, there are some here and there, okay, but where? You know, you gotta like know someone to get in, you know. They're really hard to get and they're very far and few in between. Your chances, you know, you have a chance of winning the lottery, I'll put it that way. It's only natural to wonder, where are the jobs?
Right? Good question. I don't know. Search high and low.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know either. I
Not
can't
here.
find them.
I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Good question, huh? So where do all the jobs go? There's a lot of speculation out there. Nobody can seem to agree on it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of them have been shipped off to China and have been basically converted into slave labor, lowering all of our standards of living, you know. People here can't find work because they got slaves doing it in China, basically. And they can get away with it legally. And that I can get into like a whole nother subject. Maybe there'll be another video about that. So, also people tell me, well, you got to change your career, and they'll tell me like to get into the medical field or something, or be a security guard. Especially, well, at least with the security guard, they'll tell me, oh, it's just easy. You just go and get your guard card, and this and this and that. I'm like, do you think a computer nerd like me wants to be a security guard? I mean, seriously, I mean, I'm not like a really geeky little nerd, but you know, I tend to not want to position myself where I'm gonna possibly have a confrontation with somebody, you know. But the thing is, even if it's just like for surveillance or something, and I don't actually carry a weapon or something like that, if I'm just like there to like be a theft deterrent or something like that, still, like, if someone wants to come and rob the place, the first guy that they're gonna think is gonna want to come after them would be me. So guess who's a target to get shot? Yeah, I'm not putting my life on the line. Oh, and by the way, nor am I joining the military. And if you even think for a minute that I should join the military, you should go and check out my other videos. Money, What is Money? And The Current State of the World. Okay, those are both Brian's insights also. Just so you can get a viewpoint of where I'm coming from, how I'm like totally against military and killing and wars, and yeah, that's another video which you can see. I've already made those. Okay. Oh, here's another thing that I just thought of. Something I've noticed, and probably if you're one of our unemployed people like us, you probably have like gone into a store or something and ask a question to a sales associate somewhere, and they're like, I don't know, and like sometimes they'll walk up to you and like they'll start trying to explain something to you, trying to sell it to you. You know, like in my case, like I already know how the product works or something, but like if they start talking about and trying to explain to me why it's great and how it works and stuff, I'll sit there and listen like I don't know what they're talking about, just to see if they know what the fuck they're talking about. I've actually had a guy at Best Buy trying to sell me a little SD card for my camera, and he was telling me that it had a little spinning disc inside with a little magnetic head. I'm talking about a plastic SD card for your camera, and in my mind I'm thinking, what is this guy smoking? Things are solid state, okay? Only a hard drive in your laptop or desktop computer that spins up, and you can hear it spinning up when you turn it on, okay? So anyway, this guy did not know what he was talking about, but the thing is, he has a job. He's working. He's making money. He's not sitting here in his busted ass old car that's older than him, making YouTube videos crying about being unemployed, because he's making money and he can afford to live life. But I don't have a job. I find myself knowing a lot more than sales associates. Okay? But I can't get a job. Go figure. I hope this thing still starts. But yet that job wants reliable transportation. Not happening without a job. You know, this shit really sucks. But I must really not want a job, you know. Freaking conservatives. No, I saw this commercial on TV. It was it was advertising some university or something, and they're trying to get people to get a therapist degree. And they start the commercial. I'd really like to just throw it up here so you can see it, but YouTube's copyright laws and all this stuff, it's a big legal mess and it'll mess me up. But the commercial starts off and they're talking about people who need help the most are the ones who are least likely to get it. And with rising unemployment, more and more people are in this situation, and you can be there to help them. And I'm thinking, unemployed people don't need therapists. We need jobs! 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 That's right, we need jobs. We don't need therapy. We need to be making money so we can get out into the world and be productive members of society and be able to afford to drive our cars and live life and buy things, even though I'm not really totally for all that capitalist system, but at least like so we can be able to afford the basics, you know? Just to be able to drive around, visit friends, just to be able to buy groceries and, you know, all your necessities and not have to live with like 15 other people in a 2-bedroom house, you know? And then something that's really sad is a lot of people are taking advantage of us unemployed people, which I touched in my last video. But the thing is that they ask for all these requirements, like you've got to know like this program, this program, this program. You must have experience in this and this and this and this, and be good at multitasking and working under pressure and yada 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 yada. And you look at the pay, starting pay, $8 an hour, $8.50, $9. It's like, what? But they can get away with it because they know that that if somebody says, oh, what? I'm not doing all this for $8 an hour. They know they can easily say, okay, next. Who wants to do it? They know they have a line of people going back like miles that'll gladly take it, including me. Why not? It's money. It's more than I'm making now. But I must not really want to work. I just don't want a job. Oh, and then on top of these jobs only wanting $8 an hour, not to mention all these skills and requirements and experience and whatnot, I've looked at some like driving positions. I figured, well, hey, I've got a clean driving record. I've got a license. I can drive. Sure, why not? If I can make money driving, I'll do it. Well, then I click on these ads on Craigslist and they're like, must have own vehicle and must be year 2004 model year or newer, and must have smartphone with internet access to email. And I'm like, give me a job so I can afford all this shit. You know? How am I supposed to afford a 2004 model year newer car? I mean, first of all, why does that even matter? As long as you have a car, it shouldn't matter. But I mean, come on. Like, this car is an 84. I was born in 88, okay? It's older than me, but it's all I can afford. And I can't even afford to drive it right now, okay? So how the fuck do you expect an unemployed guy who's been looking for a job, yeah, like I can afford that? Yeah, come on. This thing, by the way, doesn't even have cell service, okay? That's what my little cheapy texting phone is for right here. This I use to get on free Wi-Fi networks, like I explained in a previous video, Youth and Technology, if you want to check that out. Also, the 2004 model year newer whatever car, it also needs to have full insurance, okay? Yeah, I'm in any position to afford that. As it is, I already had to take emergency savings out to make half of the payment for the insurance for this car, and I can't even afford to drive this car right now. However, I do plan to fix it very soon. I just don't know when, because I don't know when my next 20, 30, 60, $10 or whatever it is coming from. So that's a little bit of a challenge. Trying to get this car back on the road, trying to get it all fixed up, get some better tires on it, that kind of stuff, new belts. All that kind of stuff costs money. So what's my plan? I've got to have a plan, everybody needs a plan. So my plan is I actually want to get a motorhome. How am I going to do that? That's the question. I'm just going to keep trying to do everything I can to make money and just try to save as much as I can. So hopefully one day I can be the proud new owner of this motorhome, probably like a 30-footer if I can afford like some little used one for like maybe about 15 grand. I realize, I'll have to save up a lot and I'll have to work hard and do everything I can. But once I do get that, moving around won't be so much of an issue anymore. At least not like domestically. Like somebody actually told me, move to Shanghai and teach English. I'm not going to Shanghai. It's just kind of ridiculous, the kind of advice I get. Like, just because I'm not willing to move to Shanghai means I must not really want to work. You might as well tell me to just go and prostitute. Be a male stripper. Act in a gay porno. But since I'm not willing to do that, I'm just not really willing to work, huh? Right? So, in conclusion of all this, I just like to say that there are no jobs. Yes, I know there are some, but there are no jobs. Okay? There are no jobs. People who say that there's plenty of jobs, you're full of shit. I'm doing everything I can. I'm not moving to Shanghai. Goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and check out the Facebook page. It's really cool, and I'm constantly adding all kinds of really interesting things to it. Some of these things might even blow your mind.